Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark of the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 2013 family drama Ilo Ilo.
Sometimes very naughty.
Hey, well, I don't always love every movie that I watch, but I wouldn't say that I am naughty. That's not a fair representation. Ilo Ilo has a 100% fresh rating from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes and a 78% fresh rating from the audience. I am currently reviewing every movie that has a 100% fresh rating from the critics, and I will eventually rank them from worst to best. Now, this movie is out of Singapore, and it is about the 1997 Asian financial crisis and a family living through that crisis. So we have a father named Tech who works in sales, a mother named Hui Long who is a secretary, a maid named Terry, and a child who is a young child, probably like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not very good with age, but he is a problematic child in that he gets into fights at schools and he doesn't like to listen to authority, specifically his parents. So his parents decide to hire this maid named Terry to kind of help around the house and help with the child as they are at work. And so when she first starts, her and the child don't get along. He doesn't want her there. He is embarrassed at school when kids say that he has a maid and when she tries to pick him up from school. And he basically does everything he can to make her life not very happy. But as the movie goes on, they learn to like each other. He learns to like her, and they actually become very good friends. Now, the father, Tech, who works in sales, he eventually loses his sales job and he gets a job as a nighttime security guard. He also loses a lot of money in the stock market, and he ends up telling his wife that he loses a lot of money. It's like 100,000 or something like that. But and she's very upset by this because they are struggling financially and they just can't afford to lose that kind of money. Now, the mother is also kind of her job as a secretary is kind of not that stable. A lot of people at her job are getting laid off because of this financial crisis. Now, she thinks that she's pretty stable because she's been there for a long time, but she's not sure. And she's also pregnant with a daughter. So it's a very tough situation that they're going through. Eventually, towards the end of the movie, she decides to go to this seminar with like this get rich quick guy who's given this, one of those stupid get rich quick things where he wants to sell you a book on how to make money. Now, I will tell you that if someone is selling you a book on how to make money, that way that they made money will no longer make you money because they made the money and now they're selling a book about something that no longer works. That's at least my experience. You really have to learn how finance works and you have to develop your own system, because as soon as someone tries to sell you a system, that system is no longer one that will make you any money. So she ends up buying this catalog of books that he has, but it ends up being a scheme where he doesn't actually send her the books, and she tries to call and it's a number that's out of service. It's a number that doesn't exist anymore. So she basically gets scammed out of her money. The dad loses a lot of money in the stock market. So eventually they no longer have enough money to pay Terry. I think they call her Teresa in the movie, to continue paying her. So they have to let her go. And the son is very distraught by this because him and her are now friends. This was like the only adult friend, the only person of any authority that he's ever been able to be cohesive with, to understand, to like, and it basically tears them apart at the end of the movie that she has to leave. So I mean, she ends up going at the end of the movie. The mom ends up having the baby, and that's basically it. It's a very sad story, but it's one that a lot of people can probably relate to, especially if you've ever been in a financial crisis. If you were around in 2008, then you probably understand some of this. Personally, my family lost our house during the 2008 financial crisis. We had been there for 20 years on a 30-year mortgage. My parents signed some crazy upside down mortgage, which every year doubled or something, and eventually they couldn't pay it. They refinanced their house. They signed some sort of crazy thing that doubled every year, and eventually they couldn't pay it. And we lost our house. So And when you're financially in trouble, when you're having a hard time, you really search for those like get rich quick, how can I get out of this situation type thing. Even the child, he ended up having his uncle or someone buy him a lottery ticket so he could try to win enough money to keep the maid. You're really grabbing at straws here when you're poor. And I live that. I know what it is. You're doing anything you can to get money as fast as you can, and you fall into these traps. And people know this during financial crises. People know that that's what's going to happen. People are trying to prey on you. They're trying to get your money. They're trying to say, hey, this person is going to do everything they can to help survive. I'm going to swindle them out of everything. Much like crypto would be. Now I know it's a lot of people like crypto is their everything. They think it's going to be something fantastic one day. To me, it's just a scam. It's not going to work. But to each their own. So people grab onto whatever straws they can. And this is a family that is lost. They're out of ideas. They don't know what to do. And they're just trying to grab any hope that they can. But at the end of the movie, basically all hope is gone. And that's basically how it ends. Now, movies don't have to have a happy ending. They don't have to have a satisfying ending. There are surely a lot of movies out there that leave you like you don't feel like you were given the ending that you want, and that's sometimes okay. In this movie, it's a sign of the times. Not everyone during a financial crisis is going to be okay. Not everyone during a financial crisis is going to thrive. A lot of people won't survive. It's just how it is. At the end of the movie, you want them to be okay, especially since she has a child on the way, and they have a child right now. But that's not always how it is. They're going to probably struggle for a long time, and they're going to. I mean, also, a really bad thing about financial strain, you can see this towards the end of the movie when the husband says that he lost a lot of money in the stock market, is it really destroys relationships. When you don't have money and you're struggling for money, you fight a lot, you have a lot of arguments, you are frantic, you don't know what to do, your better half might not know what to do either. They might be frantic, you have a lot of arguments. Some people end up breaking up. Some people end up going their separate ways. That's just something that money can do to you. At the end of the movie, it does seem like the wife is upset at her husband. I don't think they're going to leave each other. He ends up taking up smoking. He used to smoke when he was younger. He stopped when they got married. He stopped when they had children. But he ends up smoking in the movie again. And it's something that he hides from his wife for a long time. But then his son ends up trying to smoke. And his son doesn't really hide it very well. And he introduces the fact into the house that there's cigarettes somewhere and that someone is smoking. Now, eventually the mom blames the maid. She's not the one who did it, though. It was her husband. He comes clean and said, hey, look, I'm the one who was smoking. It's my fault. She gets very upset at him. That's when he announces that he lost all that money. So there is a strain in the marriage. There's a strain in the relationship. You actually see that kind of all the way through the movie, where the father is kind of checked out a little bit because of what he's going through, because of the strain. And the mom is also a little bit checked out, especially when her son continues to get in trouble at school. She, throughout the movie, seems like she becomes less and less that she cares about that. And that's when the maid steps in and she tries to take over that role a little bit. She almost becomes like the mother figure to the son because she's not feeling that financial strain. She does have a financial strain. She has a child at home. She's trying to have a better life for herself, but I mean, she's getting paid at that time and she's able to kind of be a little bit more happy and pleasant to the child. She doesn't have that impending gloom looming over her all the time. So, he feeds off of that and he likes her and he gets along with her. And I just think this is a really good drama that really shows the strain on a family dynamic relationship during hard times, during financial hard times. It really shows how hard it is to get by and the means and how we'll do anything we can to try to get that quick dollar to try to get that money to get us out of the situation, and how it ultimately can fail if you get sucked into the wrong thing, if you do the wrong thing. Now, I don't know if this father had any if he knew what the stock market was, how it worked, what, like, if he was just taking a tip or something. It's not an easy game to play. It's a loser's game, essentially. It's very hard to, if you're going to try to trade or you're going to try to do options or something like that. It's not an easy thing to do. You can see people on YouTube talk about how easy things like this is, but they're not, they're scamming you. It's not an easy thing. So maybe he got like sucked into that a little bit, but yeah, it really shows. I think it really shows a true picture of how things could happen in a family during hard financial times. I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the acting is fantastic all around. Sometimes, like I say a lot in these movies with children, either they're going to ruin a movie or they're going to make the movie enjoyable to watch. There's really, for me, for children actors, there's no in between. They're either really bad, like the actor in Shane, or they can make a movie like watchable, like this one. But I give this movie an 8 out of 10. Like I said, I thought it was a good movie. I hope you join me next time when I review a movie that's not a good movie. Spoiler alert, not a good movie. It's called Of Horses and Men, I believe is what it's called. Thank you. Have a great day.